your brand is the most important thing about your business. It's literally what people are saying about you when you're not in the room. And so it makes sense that you would want to have things look and feel exactly as intended to give people a consistent branding experience all the way across. And so today I'm going to show you how to use a couple simple free tools along with phone sites to make your phone sites pages the exact color, font, look, and feel of your favorite website so that your clients, your leads, your traffic will land there, feel assured that they can do business with you the right way, and then move forward. So let's talk about this in a step-by-step. Let me just fix my screen here. All right, that should be good to go. Guys, for this model, you're gonna use a couple tools. Number one is Canva. Now, a lot of people have reached out to me about the upcoming Canva integration to phone sites. I don't have any more information about that yet, but I do know that Canva is something that we like to use on a regular basis here at Phone Sites. It's so easy to create everything that you want to create for graphics for your page, for graphics for your ads, the social image, all that stuff. Canva is the way to go. The next thing I want to use, which is also free, is something called Font Squirrel. And so fonts are important in this really weird way because the way a font looks, it transmits a feeling onto your viewer, your user. And so if that visitor doesn't gel with the font, or if the font doesn't communicate what you want it to communicate to the visitor, you're going to run into some problems. And so what I recommend doing is using Font Squirrel, their generator. Optimal is fine. And what I do is I go to our page, and for this little experiment, we're going to use the Phone Sites page because I'm building some content for Phone Sites, so it just kind of makes sense. Just keep in mind that you can use any page. This strategy works on literally any website. And the next thing I want you guys to get is an extension called Color Picker, right? And so Color Picker, if you go on Google and you type in Color Picker extension, maybe I've typed in the word extension, it'll give you this one, the Color Pick Eyedropper. This is the one that I use. You can see the little logo up here. It's the same one. You add this to Chrome and it's really cool because if you click on this and you mouse over any particular color, so right here, for example, it's a little bit slow because I'm recording, but you can see the hex code right there. You can see the hex code for this button is a little bit different, and the hex code for this this yellow part is a little bit different, as well as this little green thing here. This is all going to be very important. I'm going to get back to this in a little bit. Just know this is a tool that you should grab. All these things I mentioned, except for I think Canva comes with like a professional version. I recommend it because you can do a lot of great stuff with Canva, like removing backgrounds of images and all that stuff. So I think this is the only thing that you have to pay for with this sort of plan that I'm going into here. So, okay, let's dive right in. So Canva has something called a brand kit, and the brand kit is a thing that you can put together to help Canva understand the logos, the colors, and the fonts associated with your company. This is something that I work with a couple branding agencies in out here in Newport Beach. They charge $10,000 to come up with this, and it's like something that you can kind of do yourself. Like I've seen them do it, and I would say it's something that the average person in this group should be able to do. So first, grab your logo. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up here to the top and take a screenshot of this logo. Normally, I would have just the white version, but because I want it to detect the background color a little bit, I'm just going to take a version of that. But just know that when you're doing this, the ideal logo to put in is not one with a blue background like I have here and a white text. It's one with the transparent background and whatever the logo is that includes the maximum number of colors you use in your brand, okay? So just, I'm doing it a little differently than you would do it, but that's because I'm intentionally trying to get the system to give me certain stuff, right? And so that's the logo. So I go to my brand kit, and I created a new one, but I'm just gonna go here to the Phone Sites one. Brand logos, I'm gonna go here and drop this one in, it'll right away read this and start registering it, which I think is really cool. And I'm going to drop a transparent logo here as well, which I have there. Great. And so I've got both. I've got one if I want to use this blue background, and I've got one if I want to use this white background. And so the brand colors, this is where I told you to get that color picker, right? When you go here, I want you to steal 3 or 4 colors off of your page, right? And this is how I want you to take care of that. So go here, add and discover a palette, add a custom palette. Oh, I'm sorry. It was being edited by another member of my team. That could be my fault. I could have this open in a couple different tabs. Okay, well we can just rename this one. That's fine. So phone sites, website, brand, colors. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is, oh no, it didn't save. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go here and just re-upload these 2 logos that I have. For some reason, it didn't gel properly when I had done it, and I'll put this one in here, and then I'll go in here and I'll steal this blue. That's the first thing I'll do. And so color picker, grab the blue, just hit copy, Control C. There's my blue. I want to get my yellow, my light blue, and my my green now. So this may seem a little tedious, but you're actually saving yourself like hours and hours of work, especially if like you do need to do a subtle rebrand. Sorry, I'm just trying to, there, okay. Especially if you have to do a rebrand or something, or switch the colors around, or whatever. It's, if you have them all logged in there, you can just go in and toggle one in and out as needed, which is very powerful. There's our green. And guys, if you're looking, here's the cool thing. If you guys are looking for ideas for what colors to use, like if you don't have this on a website and you're like, well, what colors do I put on my website? A great one is to go to Adobe Pantone 2021. A Pantone is just a solid color, right? And so what Adobe does, Adobe is Photoshop, the company that does Photoshop. It will it'll tell you the most popular colors of a given year. And so this is Pantone 2021. This is just one person saying these are their Pantones, but if you go, I guess it wants me to log in, but if you go to Adobe and you search for the Pantones as an image, it'll show you the different color swatches for the most popular colors. Here we go, Pantone.com. This one works too. So this yellow, if and this green, frankly, those are the ones that you see on our website. The reason is, Pantone, which used to be Adobe's company, analyzes all the websites, all the highest converting things, and they tell you which colors are popular and in style. And more often than not, those are the colors that major websites like BMW and Tesla and these other companies like phone sites that you're competing with, right? Because when you're putting a website out there, you're not just competing with the other websites, in Nebraska or in Idaho in your industry. You're competing with BMW.com and Louis Vuitton.com and all the other online experiences that are out there, right? And so, if you don't want to create a complex looking website like the one you have here, the best way to make it feel like that without doing that is to use the Pantones, right? And so this is a great resource. Highly recommend it. And you can go by year too. And what's fun is you can see like in 2015, that kind of like bright orange, bright green marketing that you should see in some other like ClickFunnels, for example. And they stopped doing it as well. That was really popular in 2015. So they did that intentionally. And so I'm offering this to you guys to also do it with some degree of intention, right? Okay, move myself back over here because I feel like this captures my good angle, right? Just kidding, I don't have a good angle. Okay, the next one is font scroll. So you have now all of your stuff saved. Oh, I see what my problem was. You have all your stuff saved here. Your blue, your yellow, your green. Maybe we can grab that baby blue that was on the page there that we really liked earlier. Let's just grab this one here. Yeah, I like that as well. All right, and I'm gonna drop this one. That's white. Of course we're using white. That's one of the big ones. I feel like every brand uses white in some way. It's like it's not even a brand color at this point, but I digress. So, okay, so we have this, we have the logos, we have the colors, now we need the fonts, right? It has to look like your page. It's the same thing as when you're running like an ad for a real estate company and like you're in New York City and you're using houses from like Scottsdale, Arizona, for example. It just doesn't like gel, it doesn't look right to the people who are seeing it. It's the same thing when you're not using the right fonts to correspond with the rest of what you're doing, right? It has to look and feel like it. So using Font Squirrel, I'm gonna do a couple things, right? I'm gonna take a screenshot of the headline, just like that. I'm gonna take a screenshot of the subheadline. That's not the best screenshot I've ever taken, but that's all right. I'm gonna take a screenshot of, let's see here. This all seems to be like the same font, I think. And maybe I'll take a screenshot of like, I don't know, this big thing right here. Like that, right? And then I'll go to Font Squirrel. Now upload my fonts. Oh, I'm sorry. I want the identifier. And so I upload an image with like this. I agree, proceed. And highlight the text, maturate it, which if you say 10 times fast in public, someone will call the police on you. All right, and these are the fonts that match what you're doing. And so this is like all of them. Some of these are free, some of these are not free. But if you just go into phone sites and you just start like here, Viger Bold, for example, right? I think it's a little more like this Futura, to be honest. I think that is closer, so I'm gonna grab that. I go back over here, add a headline style, choose the font, Futura. It doesn't have Futura, but it has stuff that's like super similar. And so I like Montserrat as well. That's one of my favorites. I would say the headline is Montserrat Extra Bold, the sub-headline style. And again, we can go in here again and run it a second time, but I already know our fonts. So, sorry. So Montserrat, Classic, and a body style can be Montserrat, just Montserrat. That way it all looks and feels like the same thing, right? And so this is all stored here. That makes me nervous that they can't save my edits, but that's okay. I hope it's there. All right, and it is perfect. So you see here is the logo. It's all the different colors we have. Now, when you go in and you start creating a design, right? Let's create a design in Canva. And let's say we want like an Instagram post or something, right? How is it done? Oh, let me go to my other brand kit. Backgrounds will be all kind of like calibrated to those colors that I had selected there, right? And let's say, for example, I wanted to create like a really trippy, wavy looking background. Well, I might not do something so complex. I might do something more of like a gradient, because that was like really ugly. And then, you know, I'll pick this one here, for example, and then the gradient itself, which is this color, you just add your colors here. See, for some reason it didn't save it the way that I intended it for it to do. Let's pretty disappointing actually. So let me see. Yeah, see, it didn't save some of the work I had done. So in that case, your brand colors would be here, and so you could grab, for example, your blue, right, or your white or your red or whatever it is, and you can just go like, okay, let's pretend this is my blue, my logo's right here, and I just drop it right there. And the text would be in the font that I had just chosen, right? So it's consistent there. You know what I mean? Then you'd go here and you'd be able to pick out everything, and so this would look, if you look at this is close enough, it's not perfect, but if you look, this is very close to the font on our page. If it had saved properly when I had done it initially, it would be the font that was on our page. So highly recommend doing this, guys. I think this is something that's really helpful for keeping stuff organized, keeping yourself, kind of your brand forward, right, which is the most important thing. And yeah, I hope this is helpful. I'll catch you guys on the other side, and let me know if you have any problems setting this thing up for yourself.